So I threw out a word yesterday on the broadcast. We're studying from 1 Peter chapter 2, starting in verse number 11 this week. Strangers and pilgrims. He says, abstain from lustly flesh at war against the soul. And then he began to give us a list of things that should be a part of our life. In other words, live humbly. And that's a word that I introduced. Just live humbly among your brethren. And even though you may not always like the laws of the land, just obey them. And don't be looking to exalt yourself above anybody else. Just live your life as Christ is the example. And live peaceably among all men. Well, then he brings another word into this teaching. And he says this. He said, liberty. He said, liberty is a wonderful thing. But he says, you cannot use your liberty as a way of doing that which is malicious, just to say, well, God said I'm free and I live under grace. God will forgive me. I just do whatever I want to do. He says, no. He said, you cannot use your liberty as a cloak to do that which would be harmful to your fellow brethren. It goes back to living peaceably. Honor, he says, all men. Love the brotherhood. Fear God. Honor the king. Now, we don't have a, quote, king here in America, but we do have governments. And sometimes, according to your, quote, political persuasion, we find it difficult sometimes to honor the king. Not too many days ago in my daily prayer life, I always have certain ones, and I have a list of people that I pray for. And I understand that I have the responsibility to pray for those who are in government, and that would be your local governors, your mayors, and your president. And not all these people really are doing the type of job that I would have them to do. But I still had the responsibility to pray for them. Because as God has laid this in our heart, he said, live humbly, live peaceable with all men, honor those who are in government, and live a life as Jesus would teach us to live, and to honor one another, live humbly, and of course, love God with all of our heart and all of our soul and all of our mind, and have that understanding and priority that this is not my final place to dwell, but I will someday dwell in a far better place. And that becomes my focus. This is Pastor Jack King with the gospel on the radio broadcast.